Cap, is it really? Do we really call it a holiday? Is that what Halloween is?
I suppose so, but I don't know. I feel like holidays are usually days off, but I don't know.
Yeah. So traditionally, how is the end of October at the Casa de Parkhurst?
Nowadays, quiet. Son's going to a playoff football game, high school. Daughter going to a Halloween party with friends. So I'm going to be here handing out candy with the dog,
Uh-huh.
hanging out. Probably have some Wake Forest soccer on the TV in the background and just chilling.
Okay. So have there been years in the past where there have been pets that have been dressed up for the holiday, or have they been put behind walls and fences so they don't jump at every ghoul that knocks on the door and rings the doorbell?
The latter. She's very excited to meet everyone, um, but it can be a little intimidating with our 75 pound dog trying to get at you.
Yes.
So no, she's kept away from the front door.
Yes, and I definitely can understand that. One other thing before we get into my mentoring questions this week, you and I, sir, have a competition in common tomorrow, and it has to do with the American football. And it is, I believe, your team traveling to my team in Tallahassee, Florida, in a newly renovated stadium where the get-in price is $8 because my football team has not won a conference game since we sued the conference. So, yeah.
Oh man.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Wake football's all right. They've had some decent games here and there, and so who knows?
Oh, who knows? Child please, as they say in certain parts of the South. We're a double-digit favorite. I don't buy that for the contents of my wallet and your wallet combined currently. Like, just, whatever's in them, you dump them upside down. I wouldn't take what's in there and send it toward that particular juice box number, considering how we've been awful this year and, lost to the low down dirty cheaters in South Florida that wear orange. And I can't do anything with that. But anyway, we're a double-digit favorite. I don't buy it. It's going to be a long day, and I will guarantee you I will send you a DM when you cover, and I will send you a larger DM in all caps if you win, to have us go 0-10 in conference play since we sued the conference. So that's what we have to look forward to, sir. Our commiseration this weekend, I figured that you would be heckling me over the phone when this game is being played.
Well, I think I should now that I know about it, because I didn't previously know about it. I don't follow college football at all. And tomorrow, I don't even know what time the game is, but I'm assuming that I'll be traveling down to Charleston, South Carolina, for a special event on Sunday.
Yes,
during the game.
Yes, and as our MIT, it is the postseason in USL Championship, and this is also part of what I wanted to discuss with you this morning. What has it been like this year, where there has still been kind of gnashing of teeth and headaches, and the kings of the draw last season weren't necessarily that. This year, you make it in, you're traveling to Charleston. What has this year been like, looking at Rhode Island Football Club and seeing how you guys have made it into the postseason again?
Yeah, it's been a challenge. I mean, all year it seems like we haven't quite been what we thought we were going to be this year. Tough start to the season with the stadium not ready, and starting on the road, and then just trying to come back from that. And it's been tough. So the last month and a half has been much better, and so that got us into the playoffs, which was big time. It's very tough year two to get back into the playoffs. I think if you look at a lot of successful organizations, sometimes year two, if you have a very successful year one, is difficult. So, and just looking at in general, coming off of going to the finals, neither of the MLS finalists made the playoffs. Both of the USL finalists came in bottom of the playoffs. So Colorado, I think, came in 8th. In the West, we came in 7th in the East. So it's just tough. So to make it in is good. That was the obviously the goal was trying to get top 4, but as the season progressed, it was okay. Let's make playoffs and let's make a run. So, yeah, Louisville and Charleston, we knew we were going to play one of them. They're both top of the league, best in class for sure. So we've got our hands full, that's for sure. But you play the underdog. We did it last year, so it's not impossible.
Mm-hmm.
I doubt either team was thrilled to get us round 1. So I think that's a positive way to look at it.
Yeah. Well, so then what has made RIFC a certifiable pain in the back of people's fronts in USL Championship? What has Kano done this year that has reinforced the build this year?
Yeah, I think we're tough to play against. I think when we played Louisville and Charleston the last 2 games, well, when we played them each, I think it was their lowest XG of the season. So we don't give up a ton of goals. Our goalkeeper's been fantastic, knock on wood. Koke Vegas has just been unbelievable for us.
Well, that's why you signed him. He was the first dude you signed, right?
Number one, El Capitan. So yeah, he's just been fantastic, and so we're tough to play against. We don't generate a lot of goals. We don't score a lot of goals. We've only scored 1 set piece goal this year, so that's been a struggle. But yeah, Dell's right. They're going to dominate possession, which is fine. We're going to go down there and try and win ugly, which is what you have to do when the other team's better than you, right? I mean, Charleston, obviously, and Louisville are top of the table for a reason. So you never know on any particular day. So hopefully it's our day. And if it's not, we had a good run last year.
Hoping to take that wicked good soccer down there to Charleston to make sure that the battery have their hands full on the weekend, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, right there, Parky. I'm trying.
I love the accents.
I'm trying. So let me use that as my end point for part of the mentoring conversation that we'll have today. When it comes to, I guess, consistency and growth, when it comes to mentees, are they mutually exclusive, or can you do one without the other, or can one lead into the other? What I mean by that is, if you're consistent, are you growing? And I would imagine if you're growing, you are consistent. But are they, can you separate them, or does one lead into the other the way that you would think?
I think that if you're consistent, you are growing. Now, growth doesn't always show equally at all times, right? You can be growing and not seeing that change on the field, and sometimes it just takes a little bit of time for it to click. We use the analogy of the bamboo tree, right? You plant a bamboo tree, and I think it's 6 years, something like that, where you water this thing, or 6 months. I don't know, one of the two. 6 something. You water it, and you don't see anything, and you don't think it's growing. You don't think anything's happening. But what's going on is underneath the soil, it's spreading, and it's getting huge down there. And then all of a sudden, very, very quickly, once it just starts to grow, off it goes. And so, if you're being consistent, that growth is occurring, even if maybe you're not getting the results from that growth that you want right away.
Now is that a generational thing? I guess when the level of patience, were folks in your generation more patient, just as impatient as your mentees today? Are mentees today just, it's like, I know that they believe in immediacy and instant gratification and things like that. So where is today's mentee when it comes to the level of patience, when it comes to growth? When you sit there, we can tell folks all day long, hey, look, you're doing great. Your game is growing. You're growing as a person out there on the pitch. It's coming. But are mentees naturally patient these days, or are they like, nah, man, let's go. I want it to be here, but even though it's not something that you can control, how patient are mentees today?
Yeah, it's tough for them, with social media and the comparing. It was much more difficult for us to compare when we were younger, right? You could only compare yourself to who you saw right in front of you, versus now you can compare yourself to any kid on social media. And so, yeah, that's tough. And so when putting in the work is tough, putting in the work and not getting that instant gratification is even tougher. And so, yeah, it's challenging on these kids, because as we know, young athletes, they all grow at different times and they mature at different times and they hit their peaks at different times. So, if you're one of those younger athletes that hasn't grown quickly, hasn't hit their stride yet, and you're putting in that work, it can be really frustrating.
I mean, and I do not envy a growing athlete at all these days because of social media and everything that surrounds them, and trying to sit there and go, well, I know I want to be at this level. I don't think I'm there yet. So when it comes to self-evaluation, where a mentee is looking at themselves and they might be a little self-deprecating or highly critical or self-critical or what have you, how much dialing back do you and Greg have to sit there and go, it's like, it's okay to be self-critical, just don't let it, take over when it comes to your process because of all of these things that are around them. It's like, man, I just don't think I'm growing as much as I do. I think that I should be here when I'm here. It has to do with that whole patience thing. It's just, trying to get them to understand perspective, I would think might be a little hard too.
Totally. Yeah, absolutely. And on one hand, you like it because to see some competitive fire is important.
Yeah.
And so you don't want to dwindle that, right? We want kids to be competitive and want to win, want to go out there and perform well and not want to lose. And so you have to balance it like everything. So you don't want to kill that fire and that vibe and tell them to just be okay with how things are going, but to keep pushing. But that's where you try and find the little wins, right? Instead of getting these big wins, right? Can you focus on one little win? Right? Do one little thing good this game. Do one thing that you want to work on in training, and just get that little win. And then you start stacking little wins, and all of a sudden, maybe these little wins can turn into something big.
Michael Parkhurst, Freddie Free Kick, hanging out with us here at MF Parkhurst on the 280 character app, Beyond Goals Mentoring, beyondgoalsmentoring.com, at BG Mentoring on said Twitters.
Very good, John.
I was trying. I was. It's the Mountain Dew in my system. It's starting to kick in. But is it difficult? Is it more difficult to have them appreciate little victories where we can tell, you can tell a mentee a little victory is still a victory. It's not just a little victory. It's still a victory in the larger scheme of things. Do they instantly buy into that idea of a little victory is a victory, or do you have to kind of sit there and tap them on the back of the head a little bit to remind them that a little victory is still a victory instead of wanting to focus on the larger picture and the finish line and something like this?
Yeah, it takes reminding, for sure, because they want the big victory, and everybody wants a big victory. And usually you look beyond the little victories, and sometimes you don't even notice the little victories until you're asked about it or you think about it, and you say, oh, yeah, you know what? Hey, I did do a little bit better than last time. I did get a few more juggles than I did. Am I the best juggler on the team? Am I doing what the little kid did before the Ajax game? Like, okay, no, but I'm better than I was yesterday. I'm better than I was last week, and that's what we're striving for, right? Just to compare yourself to yourself and your former self, and are you making those little gains? But that's tough. It's tough for adults. It's tough for kids. Super tough for younger athletes. But that's where we just try and remind kids of these little wins. But they need reminding for sure.
Do the parents need equal reminding in these situations?
Yes. Yes.
Do they need more reminding than the athlete?
They need more reminding that success isn't linear and that losses are okay and losses are learning and games aren't going to be perfect. And, not every moment on the field needs to be great. And also they're going to learn quicker from the mistakes they make on the field. So stop coaching them, stop yelling from the sideline, stop, moving them trying to move them like a chess piece out there, tell them where to go and what to do, right? Because they learn so much more on their own, figuring it out, and also from mistakes. And I know that's tough as a parent to sit there and know, hey, shoot, your child's going to fail right now. But, it's a little bit easier when they're like 8, 9, 10, 11, and these games don't mean as much than the experience and growing from them. But yeah, it's tough for the parents. For
sure. Come on, every game is important, Cap. Even if you're 8 and it's there's no There's no points on the line. There's no standings. There's no trophy. Every game's important. You've got to have instant results each and every single time. I mean, that's got to drive people crazy, where the parents are still having to be reminded about perspective in this day and age.
Yeah, totally. It is, and yeah, it's one of the reasons I don't miss the youth soccer sideline at all. I don't, and yeah.
If you could, and I can see and sense your exasperation here. If you could construct the perfect beyond goals mentoring, mentor based youth program initiative to where, yes, the games matter, but you're learning at the same time, how would you construct that idea of, okay, the Beyond Goals Mentoring Youth League, you will learn this, you will learn this, you will do this, and you'll be in a hermetically sealed booth where it is soundproofed and you can't hear anything going on the outside. The second you step through that glass door and the door closes, you can't hear anything. You get to focus on yourself. Does it include a hermetically sealed booth where you can't hear anything from the outside? No parents yelling, no hoof it or anything like that. No, you're out of place, no hitch up your socks and cover your shin guards or anything like that. How would you construct the best learning environment on the field possible? What would that include?
Man, tough question, John. I don't know. I think it's important for athletes to figure out how to block out noise. So as much as it is annoying and not constructive for parents to be yelling on the sidelines, and sometimes detrimental, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
It's also a skill for players to figure out how to block that out and not listen to it, and turn that into just background noise and focus on the communication out on the field. So if you put kids in a perfect little embryo and a perfect little box, right, when they get out there in the real world, they're likely to fail. So it wouldn't include that. But it would include for sure having conversations with the parents. And John, we just, breaking news here for BGN. We just signed our first deal with a youth soccer club, and it's going to be exclusive in the Atlanta area because they're the only ones that wanted to and took the jump. So Inter Atlanta, we are going to work with them, and we are going to do a parent orientation in the fall here soon, and then one in the spring as well. And it's definitely something that we're going to talk about. I've never been on an Inter Atlanta sideline at all. Don't know how the parents act, but I'm just going to assume that it's similar to most others. And so that's definitely one thing that we're going to talk about, because if you can start to change one little sideline at a time, right, you hope that it has an effect elsewhere. So, it's definitely something that no one's blind to it. Everybody gets it, right? But it's also become like a joke on social media a little bit, right? Where I've seen things about like, oh, this is the parent freaking out on the sideline of a sports game. Isn't that funny?
No.
Even though they know that why they think it's funny is because they know it's them. They know that they do it. And I get a laugh out of it too, but some of them. But the little kids out on the field getting yelled at by mom and dad aren't getting a laugh out of it.
No. And when I've got like 19 different questions. How far back did these conversations go with Inter Atlanta, and how did you ultimately decide about this next stage when it comes to these kinds of orientation?
Yeah, we've been talking to them. Initial conversations were probably a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
But things change, and different people become involved and whatnot. It for sure helps that Greg and his kids are now with the club, so he's there often. But they're just really well run. They've got some good people on the board, including Mr. Mark Bloom. He's on the board there. But some really good leaders there that value what we bring and what we can provide for the kids and the parents and the club in general. So we've been since probably August really trying to nail something down. We finally got it nailed down. So now now we'll start working with all the teams over there.
Okay, so when you get closer to those dates, obviously let us know about those things, and we may parachute over and sit there and do a story on it for SDH. But I would think that doing something like that, being a tremendous positive, you would hope that parents would listen, because if it's coming from an authority figure, you, Greg, Mark, they know that, the professional athlete side of things. Okay, so this is serious. I have a professional athlete talking to me about this kind of stuff. I need to listen instead of just hearing it from another parent or someone who's in a hierarchy someplace that doesn't have that added attachment to it. I'm hoping that, one, this blossoms into something that covers like 19 planets and 4 solar systems, which you guys get to do. But I'm hoping that this kind of snowballs into an idea of, okay, here's what they're talking about. Listen to this because it's important, and stop the laughing on social media because, hey, there's a parent who's out of control, those kinds of things. I'm looking forward to this. I mean, and I would imagine, obviously, that the two of you are too. What are you most looking forward to with this particular idea?
There's a bunch of different parts to it.
Yeah.
I think that working with the players, working with the teams, will be really fun. I think doing some video sessions with some of the teams will be fun. I think working with the parents will be interesting to see how it goes, what their questions are, how we can help them, not just with us trying to help with behavior on the sideline, but how can we help them, and in turn them helping their children.
Yeah.
Right. What questions do they have about their journey? So all of that, we'll work with a few individuals who need more help than the rest, that can get the help through just the team setting. Mm-hmm. So there's a bunch of different aspects to it. So we're excited. It's going to be a lot of work, but we're excited for it.
What is, when you have conversations with the parents of mentees, is there one question that they ask you more than any other as a parent? Is there one question they sit there and that you keep hearing over and over again?
Yeah, well, I'm hearing a lot of college questions now, but I think just in general, as far as youth stuff, is more how much is too much is a big question, right? Do I need a personal trainer? Does he need to go to extra trainings? That's a big one. And then a lot of the questions are just around like, his confidence is down. I can see it, but they don't want to listen to me type thing.
Okay.
Can you help him with that? Which is a big aspect. And I get it, because even my own kid doesn't want to hear it from me.
It's like, Dad, one of those kind of things where they roll the eyes.
Yeah.
And they may not take it as seriously if it's coming from you outside of the family. They take it more seriously than you inside and under the same roof.
Very true.
I mean, I'm just I get that, and it's coming from a genuine place, but because it's coming from under the same roof, you feel like you might be getting piled on a little bit. That's my guess.
Just comes as another lecture. Oh, it's another parent lecture. Here we go.
Yeah. To have those. I do not. I mean, I give parents. Everybody sits and goes, well, do you have kids? I said, no, I have parents and pets. That's what I have. I am fully in awe of parents and what they are able to accomplish on a daily basis, considering there's 9,000 different things you've got to do. You're torn in 9,000 different directions. You've got to sit there and make sure that you're providing the best life for everyone under that roof, and that you're all moving forward as one unit, basically, and that you're all doing the same message and the same things. There are days where I sit there and go, I don't know how parents do what they do. I really don't.
It's a huge commitment for the whole family, especially if multiple children. I mean, soccer is worse than baseball as far as travel, especially at a higher level, right? When you get to that higher level, and kids around here in Columbus, they're going to Louisville for a game on the weekend. They're going to West Virginia. They're going over to Chicago. Like, we're talking 4-hour drives, 6-hour drives, 5-hour drives, 3-hour drives to play a game, or to stay overnight for 2 games over the weekend. Like that's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That's a parent and a night stay at a hotel, right? So if you've got multiple kids, I mean, and just financial, such a big impact. So yeah, so I get it where, hey, if you're going to make this commitment, you want your kid to be serious, you want your kid to be getting better, you want them to be bought in, right? Otherwise, why am I spending these thousands of dollars, and all of my free time is now devoted to this? So I understand it from a parent perspective, no doubt about it.
One more before you go. Actually, it might be 1 and 1B. Is Hell is Real going to a third match?
I hope so.
And
I hope so. There was a fun watch, the first one. I enjoyed it. It was a good game, entertaining. I think Cincinnati's probably the better team. Columbus is missing their new striker, and without him, it's a little bit difficult for them to score more goals. So I do think Columbus will win at home. But
yeah, then you got match day 3.
Yeah, which I'd be excited for. I'd try and get down to match day 3. I know, because I'm disappointed. Of course, the Charleston game had to be at 2:00 on Sunday, so I won't be back in time to see the game here on Sunday. So I'd try and get down to a game 3 in Cincy if possible.
And yeah, because we had Doran on the air yesterday to break everything down, and it's always fun to have Bruce on.
Tony, I hope it's not Darlington's last game.
Yeah. And last one before you go, what do you think about what's going on here in Atlanta, coaching search and roster decisions and such?
Yeah, big decisions. Yeah, it's a huge one. Yeah, it's a huge one. I mean, there's a lot of roster decisions to be made, but yeah, it's interesting. You have to make the hire quick if you want that person to make the decisions. But you don't want to rush it. I get it. I've heard some things on the side here and there. So, yeah.
Oh, you have? Yeah, you have you?
I may have. But yeah, it's a big one. And I know that they know it's a big one.
Yeah. So. They do. As always, my friend, thank you for the breaking news, by the way, about Inter Atlanta. That was a nice subtle drop in there. It's like, oh, by the way, breaking news. I didn't have time to hit the sounder.
I'll get you prepped next time.
There we go. Yeah. So Wake in Florida State. That's going to be tomorrow in American football, and you're going to yell at me because you're going to heckle because you covered, if not won, down in Tallahassee. At BG Mentoring, at MF Parkhurst. As always, Cap, it's great to see you. Great to talk about anything and everything, and we'll catch up with you next time. Thanks for dropping by, as always.
Have a great weekend.